I appreciate you checking out this video from NetPicks. I'm going to do something a little bit different. The last video that we put together, we used the Awesome Oscillator and Trend line strategy. Keep in mind, again, you don't trade the actual indicator. All right? A lot of people get that confused. Just because you're using an indicator does not necessarily mean you're trading the indicator itself. All right, when you look at a momentum indicator like the Awesome Oscillator, it's just measuring momentum in the market. Is the market moving? As a trader, you're going to have to determine, does the price action suit you? Does the state of the market suit you? What does price structure look like to you? Okay, and when you're looking at trend lines, there's nothing magic about trend lines. They show the rhythm of the market for sure, and they also give you an objective area to look for a trade. So when you combine that with momentum, you can set yourself up with some decent trades. You're going to lose. That's why trade management and your stop loss is vital to trading. To start off, we're going to look at monthly, weekly, and daily charts. Look in the monthly at Bitcoin. You can see that we've put in a slight higher high. Now, if you look back at how I draw trend lines, I want to be able, in general, if I'm drawing an upsloping trend line, to connect the last swing low into the high. That's what I want to be able to do. And if I'm looking to draw a downsloping trend line, I have to be able to get the last swing high into the low. So on this chart here, we've obviously broken new highs. There is no price acceptance on this. However, I'd still want to do something like this. All right. And you notice that these are still green. Now, you may want to say to yourself, okay, well, we did put in a slight higher high, right? And you don't want price chopping through your trend line. If you're drawing something like that, then you're looking at trend lines like this, all right? One thing that you can look at doing when you get areas where it's very difficult to draw a proper trend line, I connect the low to the highest high, just drag it out. Right, so this would be a clear break of the trend line. We're still green, so obviously we would not be shorting. Look at the weekly chart. It's a little bit different. It's a flashing red here. If we would draw our trend line and we're agreeing that this is the higher high, it's going to be here to here. Right, so we did break down. Remember the strategy. You would have to get a break of the low, which would be 41,967.50. We didn't do that. We're trading inside that range right now. Obviously, that could change pretty quick with Bitcoin. Look at the daily chart. Again, if you're looking back to the upside, right now, all I can draw is this, right? These are legitimate swings that I can use, right? I can't draw the other trend line because I can draw this trend line. We're looking for a move up, and it's going to take a bit to get there. We're down at 50,000 right now. We need a break above 54,000. I said it might take a bit. Actually, it could take 1 day, knowing the way Bitcoin trades. And we would need the Awesome Oscillator to turn green as we're breaking above. Okay, so it's no buy yet in Bitcoin. If you're still looking to short it, even though we're in a down move, we can still use this strategy to short off of reversals. Now, on pullbacks, when you do this, you may not always get that extra swing that we need, right? So that's when you can resort to drawing from the low to the high. Just drag it out. ISO, oops, let's get this over here a bit more. And we're green here, red here, and again, the short would have been below here. Now, let's be honest, you would not know this is coming. Okay, so if you look at this and say you missed it, you didn't miss it. You're not responsible for that particular move. All right, anything that happens after, then you'd be responsible for it, but you're not responsible for these big moves that just come out of nowhere. Right, the second move, those are the ones that you want to be able to catch. Let's move on. Let's take a quick look at the very popular Apple stock. This is the monthly chart. You can see there are some entries here that you could take off the upside. This is going back to 2018. I'm not going to bother with that. Off of a trading range into here, break out to the upside, 174.62. It's pretty steady. with this move up. Weekly chart, again, scrunched up a little bit, makes it easier to see. So for Apple on this weekly chart, you would just be looking to the upside. So we would use our strategy looking for buy points like we have right here on this move up here. Bit of a pullback against you, $10. And then we get another move. And if you can't draw it that way, go back to this way. Right here. Your entry is on this candlestick right here to the upside. All right, so there's always ways to get into these as long as we get a little bit of price against us. Go to the daily chart. A little easier to draw. You got this candle here to this candle here. For the up move, we get a break to the downside. It is red, right? So that would have been a legitimate short according to the strategy below 157.80. Obviously, it doesn't trigger in on the daily chart. You also can look at it this way. We have this move down here. Connect this to this. It's green on this, no break above, doesn't close. It closes here, but it's red. Closes there, but it's red. It's green on this one. Turns red on this one, right? Got to take our buy stop off of this candle, right? Because it's red now, can't use it. Buy stop goes on this one, it's green. Entry was 164.96, now you're up at 174.90. If you happen to miss this one, this move down here, you can see this is a swing you can draw. You have this move down here. That is this very aggressive move here, right to there. Close above, it's green. So we were looking at a long above 167.88, and right now, let's take a look at Walmart. It's a monthly chart. You know, Walmart really did well as COVID ran through the world. You see, we haven't even put a new high in yet, right? So let's just see if there would have been on the monthly chart. This is the last swing that I can see. That makes sense. I can draw this without cutting through any price. So there is no trade yet on to the downside on Walmart. Look at the weekly chart. It's more of a trading range on the weekly chart. The daily chart looks a little bit different. Whoa, this is a big move down. So obviously you got a long way to go. That could be too long. So big move down, right? This is the one where you can do this, right? It depends on you. Just try drawing this from the highest high, the lowest low, dragging it out to just touch the price, okay? So remember, we can also get into this through continuation moves. Now, this obviously is the highest high, but this candle was one that took this out. So you wouldn't have seen this one when you were drawing this trend line, okay? Gonna move up, breaks down, it's green, it's red on this candlestick here. Now you may decide that, hey, you know what, that's too far away from this move down. This price is 140.01, and yeah, it does get down to 135.27, bit of a retrace right here. If price starts to break down even further and puts in a new low, then you'll be able to use this swing here for your new trend line. Okay, so you would have had a short to get into this move here off of this bear flag. But you have to decide if this is way too far. It's only a $4 difference from when it fell. It's up to you. And you have support way down this end here. Depends on the trader. Let's take a look into the FX market and Euro Japanese yen and the British pound yen. When I used to trade Forex, is something that I always traded. Those were my two main pairs. I always liked the volatility of those pairs. So what we got here? So let's mark it off our move. Couldn't sell here. Awesome Oscillator still green. Sell below this candlestick at 127.932. Did we get into that trade? If you would have traded this 127.93. Well, no, it's actually pretty much depends on how you're accounting for spread. If you did get into it, obviously you had a retrace and you'd be back to break even now. And if you didn't, well, you didn't miss much on this trade. That's the monthly chart. Weekly chart, see the breakdown's a little bit different. On the weekly chart, let's take a look over here. Actually, you know what? Let's be fair. Where's my swing into the high? That could be it as well. Let me just adjust this because it's going to be obviously different, right? When you look at a longer term time frame, you're going to have less swings to look at. This stands out to me. That's the same candle, pretty much too, right? Be shorting below 130.61, 130.04. So this candle would have taken you to this trade on a spike lower. Trade doesn't go in your favor down to 127.92 before it pulls back against you. And this is on the weekly chart. Again, if you're looking to go back to the upside, we got a lot of room to go. If we get another swing that we can use, then we can get more of a steeper trend line, something like that. Let's go down to the daily chart. That kind of moved down pretty good. If we're trading the daily chart, and we have to connect that last swing, right? You're looking this way. Okay, that's not a great trend line, right? Especially on a daily chart. So what can we do? All these days we had of positive upside movement. Low to high, move to the outside. It's touching right there. Beautiful. See, it's touching. Data points. Breaks down here. I actually got that way of drawing trend lines off of a gentleman named, I want to say his name was something Donnie. I can't remember it. He's actually here in Canada, and I learned that from him years ago, and I like using those. 131.114, 131.14 was the initial entry, right? Awesome Oscillator is green, so we can't use that one. We have to switch that one over. We can use that one there. 131.05. Again, depending on where you trade, you put your stop, right? Tight stops get killed. A lot of people use tight stops because they have small positions because of their account size. Just a nice move down to 127. That's a really great trade. So now what are we looking at? Let's go to the upside. Last swing. This is the last swing for me. Okay. We got to close outside. That's up to you. It's debatable, right? This would be your next one, and it's actually current. If you want to get into this market, you know, it's up to you. It's not, don't take this as advice. Do what you want. Market hasn't closed yet, so it's 129.10. All right, we're going to wrap it up here. I could go through charts all day. This was just to give you a bit more of a interactive way of using that strategy. And again, is it perfect? Absolutely not. Are you going to take losses? You absolutely will. Okay. It's vital that every trader out there has a trading plan. It's vital that you understand position sizing and trade management and having a protective stop. When do you get out of the market? When you are wrong. As for take profits, again, you have to know who you are as a trader. Do you need to see a strong momentum against you? Do you need to see a trend line break? Do you need to see price reach a certain ATR target? It's up to you. Okay, all that stuff has to be in your trading plan. But I appreciate you checking this video out. If you have any questions, put them below. I don't mind doing more charts if people are interested in that. In the meantime, hit like, hit subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon.